What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, SplinterPOV. I insist that the person who sent me this contact me immediately. Speaking of, send me, Kris Black, shout out to you, brother, for sending me these stomp boxes, a chorus pedal, distortion pedal. Love them, bro. Been playing them all day. Love them, bro. Been playing them all day, man, and I'm going to play them tonight when I go live. I really appreciate it, brothers. Awesome. Go to the P.O. box and find a couple pedals for my guitar. Love it. So today's video, I'm talking about the others. And when I sat down to make this video, I kind of had like a moment of confusion. I really had to reflect, and it's like, wait a minute, the others. It's kind of like lasagna. I know exactly what lasagna is. It's one of my favorite things to eat. I've been around a lot. I know what it looks like, tastes like, smells like. Know everything about lasagna. Till you ask me to make it for you, then I'm like, whoa, make it for you. Noodles and sauce. So, I mean, others, yeah. I've got 15 years of prison under my belt. Others, of course, I've heard the term others. I know what others are until I go make a video of them. I'm like, what exactly are the others? I'm not even quite sure. This is going to be the running theory for the video, though. That came out really fast, but even for you. Wow, I think because a lot of the TH sound really made it sound slippery. This is the running theory for the video, though. Woods, Serranos, Norteños, Blacks, and Paisas are the big groups in prison. Anything outside of that would be considered another. Even though there's groups inside of that other box, they're still big in their own right. Of course they are. For whatever reason, that's just how it is. I don't make the rules. But that's how I understand it. You have Woods, Serranos, Norteños, Blacks, and Paisas, and others. That's how it is. Anything that does not belong in one of those boxes, by default, is another. Let's work with that theory. And Asians. Straight up. Asians are considered other. Even though they're very deep in California. Not in Bakersfield so much. They don't have much of a presence. But I know in California, they have several very tough, dangerous gangs and cliques. Very deep in certain cities, towns, neighborhoods. Go to prison. Other. I have done time. Quite a few Asians. I have a video called My Cellie Was an Asian. If you look in the comment section every once in a while, you'll see someone say, "You can't defeat me." That's where that little quote came from. Also, but trip on this though. I was in D4. Wasco Reception. The Woods and the Serranos and Paisas are on the bottom tier. And the Bulldogs, the Blacks, and the others are on the top tier. Keep us separated. Do not let us program together at all. And my cell's in the corner. So when they're having day room, part of the program, what I should be doing, what all of us should be doing on the bottom tiers, you look at your cell. You watch them as they're doing program. You see what they're doing, if they're hiding anything anywhere, if they have weapons, they're making weapons, who's who seems to be in control. You want to just watch your, quote unquote, your enemy. I mean, I guess they're not your enemy. Well, they are, because I mean, the Bulldogs, that's really who you're watching for, looking for, all of them, but really the Bulldogs, because that time, they had this thing where they would come over to your door, they'd throw a towel in your handle, because your handle looks like a C, so it looks like a handle. Put a towel in it. And then him and his homie would be yanking on the door and it'll open up. So you have to be on point. You have to be on deck at day room. You can't just be lounging, kicking back, reading in your book, hanging around. No, when they have day room, you're on your door, you're like looking and watching. And I've seen these two Asians at a table. And I thought, I got some discernment on mine. I can like see things that you can't really see. I know that kind of sounds mystical, but I have discernment. And I'm looking at them and I could tell there's some trippy energy going on there. It was just them two sitting at the table. They weren't really conversating. And the youngster, it was the older dude and the younger dude, seemed to be scared of him. I was picking up on some fear. And there's only two Asians in the whole pod, just them two. And like I said, I was watching them. I was supposed to be watching the Bulldogs. They had my attention. Couldn't be more opposite, these two. One was like 18. I would have thought he was 12 had he not been in an adult prison. Therefore, has to be 18. No way he was any older than that. He looked very, very young. Very feminine. Probably like 100 pounds. No muscle tone at all. Just real skinny. No facial hair. And he had real long hair too. And I was thinking to myself, man, you already look feminine as it is. I wish I could give you an upgrade. Like, I wish I could give you some advice. You should shave your head, knock a tooth out, and like tattoo something on your forehead so you don't look so vulnerable. Because, man, he did look like an easy target if someone's going to prey on him. And he just looked real timid and looks real scared. By contrast, the other Asian dude Looked like he'd been around the world once, talked to everybody twice, shaved head, tattoos, buff, cut up, scars. Very intimidated and aggressive. And what ended up happening that night, when they locked down, day room locks down, shut it all down for the night, lights go out, he ends up taking advantage of that dude in the worst way possible. I gotta keep the monetization going, so I hope you could pick up what I'm putting down. Fully takes advantage of him. And the sound of it was awful, it was horrible. I really felt for that dude, you could hear it. And he was some distance away from me. I'm in this corner, on the bottom tier. He's down there in the opposite corner of the top tier. But it is real quiet in there. Not usually though, because the bulldogs like to stay up all night and make a lot of noise and rap. And make a lot of noise and beat on the thing. But when there was you could hear someone distressed, everyone quieted down. Everyone kind of listened. Not because they wanted to out of enjoyment, but listened to out of shock. I'm sure everyone was as shocked as I was. That's the only time I've ever experienced that in CDC. It's not uncommon. It's very uncommon. It's very frowned upon. That's why the very next day, the bulldogs rushed that older dude and sliced him up. And this happened to be the bulldog I hated the most. This dude with the long ponytail, couldn't stand him. You know what they'd do? They would take their door. See, like I get called out for medical. I get called out for some reason. There's no day room. We're all locked up in our cells. They call me out for some reason. So I'm walking to go talk to the cop. Maybe they want me to go to board or screening or whatever. They call me out. The bulldogs on the top tier will take their foot and they'll apply some pressure to it to where when they move their foot, it goes clank and it makes a noise. And it startles you and make you look. And it'll make you look foolish too, because they make that noise and you look and jump and everyone's, they're laughing. But I mean, you're already on point on deck anyway. Of course, any kind of noise like that, you're going to turn. I mean, you have to. You would look more foolish of a noise like that behind you, and you didn't turn and look. Of course you're going to turn and look. And they will laugh at you. And that dude was the biggest, he would start the most shit. He was the biggest troublemaker. But he was the one that did that. Sliced the dude up. So even though I didn't like him, I mean, I would still respect the shit out of him, bro. And when I was at Soledad, there was this Asian dude who was a northerner. Couldn't stand this dude. Out of everybody in the whole, I was in Toro dorm. I did not like this dude. And you know, it's weird because if you're in a spot, if you're in a building, I mean, we're on lockdown. That's when the Woods and the Serranos rushed the blacks. Or the Woods rushed them, the Serranos got involved. So we're all on lockdown. They took the blacks out of there, so it's the Woods and Serranos, Norteños and Paisas in that building, all on lockdown. Eventually, the Norteños and, I don't know about the Paisas, Norteños, others got off. But we're all stuck in that building, and you can tell if you're in a space, if you're in a building, if you're somewhere, and someone don't like you. And it seemed like the person don't like you, you always you catch them looking at you, and you look at them. There's all mad dogging from across the room. We had a couple little stare down battles, mad dogging each other. And I always looked away first. Darn it, kind of made me mad to realize that I looked away first. But it's only because I have ADD. It wasn't because I was, scared of anything. We'd be staring at each other, and I would get bored. I just want to look at something else, so I'd be like, hang on, I'll be right back. And I would go do something else, and I'd come back, and he'd be gone. So who's really the winner? I say I won, because I did say, I'll be right back. But I didn't like that guy, man. We'd always be mad dogging each other. And one time there's this little area where you walk to get hot water, and there's a little cutout. There's a little mop area. You fill up the mop bucket and hang the mops. And there's a little thing where you got hot water. And the Norteños are really on deck. Like a white boy, I go get some hot water. I might not even take no one with me. I'll go there and just get it. To where Norteño, they'll go get hot water and take two homeboys with them. As they're getting it, they'll have two homeboys stand at the exit where no one else can go in there and rush up on them. So someone's in there getting the hot water, and I'm doing something you shouldn't do, like walk and talk. You shouldn't be like, oh yeah, homeboy, that's cool, I'll be back in a minute. You should be always walking, looking where you're going, which I usually am. But I walked away from the pinochle table, kind of like a mid-joke, to go get some coffee, and I walked away from the table talking, walking, talking. Shouldn't do it. Like I say, should always be scanning. And so just I didn't notice two dudes post up out front. Happened to be one of those Asian dudes. I just went to go walk back there to get some hot water. And Northern's already getting it. And the Asian dude really got up on my biz, man. I even made contact with his arm on my chest. Well, you can't go in there. Dude's in there. I was like, whoa. That kind of tripped me out. But I felt I was in the right because he had the right of way. I changed lanes without a blinker kind of. So, I don't know. I didn't like him, man. I didn't like that guy at all. But, he didn't like me either. And, I brought this up in a video before. There's Asian dude. I did ride a bus. This is the bus when we went. Where did we go, man? This is when we did I want to say this is when we went to Arizona. So I want to say it was. I think it was. Left at 3 in the morning. When you transportation, they put this real, you'd be lucky to get boxed. I don't think you get your box. I think you're butt naked under this little zip up paper, real thin suit. They have a nerve to put a collar on it. They gave me a collar on this thing. So it's got a collar and it zips up and you can see, you can see people's tattoos. It's see-through. Totally. Does not keep you warm at all. Get on this bus, freezing cold. So cold you got a bus driver and you got a dude in the back holding a shotgun. He's like in a little cage. You know, 2 cops, maybe sometimes 3. There's no one sitting up front. Anyway, the dude in the back was telling the dude in the front, hey, it's way too cold. What's wrong with you? He literally said, he's like, I feel like I'm at the vegetable aisle at the supermarket. I feel like I'm like a cucumber. Like I'm chilled. What's going on? And he said, I'm tired. I'm falling asleep. I have to have this cold to keep me awake. Which is like startling to hear. You're going to fall asleep. But even more startling to feel was how cold it got. Oh my gosh, it got so cold. They gave you a little sack lunch. I dumped it out and I ripped it apart. And I was trying to cover up the little bit of paper bag I had. The Asian dude sitting next to me, yes, our legs did, I don't even know what you can call it. They did a little bit of, you know, my leg went next to his leg. And they did a little bit of this. A little bit of rappage. I don't even know there's a word for it. We might have invented it. And there was nothing, no desire. I mean, come on, get your head out of the gutter. Of course, it's not any kind of like, it's a survival of the fittest, dude, to get warm. So you don't die of hypothermia. So, yeah, our legs did get like some rappage. I was getting warm. My leg was wrapped around his leg. And I remember being real comfortable and laying back and he would try to move. And I tightened my leg. I was like, just stay there, little buddy. It's okay, don't move. I didn't want him to move and like mess up my mojo and shit. He was a nice guy. He was cool. People talk shit to me when I told them that last story. And I don't lie to you guys. I tell you everything that happens. And that happened. Survival of the fittest. You got to stay warm. If you have to rap with somebody to get warm, you rap. Get your rap on. Be that as it may. Also, Samoans. Samoans are others too. I can't really think of dealing with them too much. I remember when I was a solid at North Yard, level 3. There's up on the very top tier, there's a group of them. They'd always kick it. There's about 5 or 6 of them. They kicked the railroad tight. This one, I did some business with him. I get some weed and stuff. So they're pretty cool. They had their little clique, and they were cool. That's all I really remember when I think back. I'm sure, like, in different yards, I've probably seen one here or there, but I can't really think of them too much. On the streets, however, though, I remember there's a big problem with the Nazi little riders in Bakersfield. That's ongoing war with the Samoans for a while. And I even remember, pardon me, I even remember talking to this one dude. He was like way up there. He was like the head honcho. He was his right-hand man. How I know, because he told me a bunch of times, like, dude, I'm the right-hand man. I was like, oh, that's badass. A little bit later, he's like, I'm the right-hand man. And I was like, yeah, he told me that. I was like, my muscle, like, not my muscle, but my short-term memory isn't that bad. Like, he told me 5 minutes ago, I'm second in command, right-hand man. He would tell me that, and then one time he told me, he was telling me that it was on a crack with Samoans. He said he talked to the main dude from county jail, and he was saying, yeah, when you get out, I want you to go here, we're going to put some together, and we're going to smash, we're going to handle this. There's some stuff going on with Samoans. And that dude, the right-hand man, told me one time, he was in my dorm 1, and he wanted me to go over to dorm 7 with the yard closed. What you do is you walk out of your dorm, because it's not locked, and you act like you're going to medical. You could always walk out and get aspirin or Mylanta, that stuff called for your stomach, or Pit-Mabismo, whatever. So you just act like you're going to medical, and you just walk wherever you want to go. So he's like, come with me, smash over to dorm 7. So we went over there, and there's other homeboys. Now there's like 5 of us standing around. He's like, yeah, I'm the right-hand man, and there's some stuff going on with Samoans. When I get out in a couple of days, I'm going to hook up with the head honcho, and we're going to go rush these Samoans, put something together. Then what he had was a syringe, a little house syringe. It's been on the farm, it's been there for 5 years. It stays there and just gets passed around. He had it wrapped in toilet paper and cheeked. So in between his butt cheeks. And that's how he walked, that's how he carried it over there. So he took it out, and still talking about a story. He's still the right-hand man. They're going to rush him. They got this thing going on. He reaches out there, don't miss a stride. He takes it out, hands it to this dude. I guess that's why he's there, to give that to him. But when he hands it to him, I clearly seen, as did everybody, a big smear, dookie, on the toilet paper when he pulled that, handed it to him. And he just kept talking. No one said nothing. Everyone just like was going to let it. And finally, with like 2 seconds, I was like, whoa, is no one going to say that there was clearly dookie on the toilet paper? I go, dude, you dirty ass. Straight stink ass on yours. Homeboy, do you need a bidet? I was like, dog, and no one's going to say anything? Who saw it? Who saw the dollop? There was a smear, dude. Certain there was brown smear on that toilet paper. Dude grabbed it. He saw it. He didn't care. He didn't even like flip it over and like try to, or like grab from the other end. I think he grabbed it fast so like no one else could see it. But I saw it, as did everybody else. And everyone act like they didn't see it. I was like, you guys didn't see that? And he grabbed it? Crazy. There's going to be a war. We're kicking it off. Anyway, that's what he was saying. It's on the crack and right-hand man. Then he hands it. Anyways, but a good homeboy. Actually, now, I don't know if this is related or not, but I know a good homeboy actually got beat up by Samoans on the street. Put him in a coma. Like 3 of them. Just like stomped him out, smashed some dude, and bashed his head in the street. Hit his head on the curb. For the gutter or something like that. Hurt him, bro. Hurt him bad. And I think maybe there might have been that's why there's some drama going on. But this dude is a good homeboy. But I remember my homeboy Sticks beat this guy up. I don't want to say his name. But this guy was a real jokester. I've done time with him several times. What he would do, he would walk up to you, say like you like the Raiders. And you're standing there, he'd walk up and be like, He's throwing his voice. Like someone else saying, he's like, fuck the Raiders. He's like, no, don't say that. Homeboy Splinter likes the Raiders. Or like I like guitar, he'd be like, fuck guitar. No, don't say that. Homeboy Splinter, he likes guitar. So he'd say, he'd like throwing his voice, and like sticking up for you, like he's a little jokester. So Sticks is kicking it, and he walks up next to Sticks. He's like, Sticks is a bitch. He's like, oh, don't say that about my homeboy Sticks. He's a good dude. But Sticks didn't like that at all. He was very insulted. His feelings were hurt. He thought it was rude. You don't call anyone a bitch, a lame, or a punk, period. Those 3 words, not even joking, fighting words. Bitch, punk, and lame. Out of line. So he said that. Sticks is a bitch. No, he's not. I'm talking about my homeboy trying to do ha. And Sticks is like, ha. But the problem is that dude had a couple guys that hung around him real tough. So they're like a 3-man crew. I'm like this. There are 3. I do 3 like this now. I used to go like this, but sometimes it takes too long to get my thumb over the pinky, so now I just go like this. Nice and quick. It was a 3-man crew. But just so happens 2 of those dudes went home on the same day. Now homeboy's by himself. And as soon as that dude's by himself, Sticks rushed in there and just beat him up. And dude got all mad. Oh, you waited for the homeboys to leave? You rushed in? Yeah, I wanted a one-on-one. And I know I would have never got that. Why would you do that and say Sticks is a bitch? That's disrespectful. I was joking around. That's not how we joke. See, I love Sticks. Sticks is a good dude, man. I could tell you another story about him. Anyway, yeah, man. So that's what happened there, dude. Oh, and this other dude, man. Shit. I remember county jail. There's this dude. I think he was Samoan. I mean, he didn't really say. He was a bigger dude. He was color of a Mexican. That'd be his tone. I'm just trying to describe him. Dark hair. And he said he was another. I figured he was a Samoan. Say he was another. And then what happened was you could pick TV shows. And it was like one day the Woods got to pick everything. The next day the Southsiders. The next day the Blacks. Next day the others. Oh, no others? Okay. Go back to the Woods. But he's like, no, I'm another. And like all of a sudden, like, no, you're not. But I guess you are. But he always kicked up the Blacks. But then all of a sudden he said he was an other because he wanted to pick like TVs. And even the Blacks like, nah, dude. And he was like picking what football games he wanted. And he's just trying to say he was another. And everyone's like, no, you're not. Because really he kicked it with the Blacks mostly. And he just switched up to say he was other so he could have like a day to pick the TV. But you couldn't really tell him no. People tried to, but it's kind of like a weird trip. But then he got some weed. Got a big old bag of weed. And then his head really blew up. Straight ego. Before, he was a little bit like of a smart ass, like dick. Like, feed that dude the long spoon. Don't get too close to him or joke around or play. It'll end up in a fight. Like, watch out for that guy. But now with his big old head, he was really like ego. Just talked a lot of shit. But I like to smoke that weed. See, even though I was trying to like avoid that guy, just he was such a smart ass and dick, I just had to get involved with him because, he had this weed. So I was like, what's up, Samin? I'm going to get a joint. And he had his hands open like this. And he had a bunch of joints in there. And immediately I can say they're all different sizes, which is weird. It's like you and I both go to a Mexican restaurant. And we each get, 2 enchiladas, rice and beans. And I get all this big pile of rice and beans, all this enchiladas. And you get like 2 small ones, like a little tiny dollop. Like hardly nothing, a smear. Wouldn't you be like, well, that's what those joints look like. One was a fat, and it's like, dude, those are all $10? Why is one looking real unhealthy and one's looking fat? They're not all the same, not even at all. It's like really weird. He had them out like this. So I, out of instinct, grabbed one of the fat ones. Because I thought it was an invitation. The way he had his hand out. He's like, I'm selling joints. And I'm like this. And I was like, oop, a fat one. He's like, hey, Splinter, put it back, dude. I'm going to grab my stuff. And made a real big deal out of it. Started yelling, stood up. Everyone's looking. I gave it back. I was like, my bad. Shit, I thought it was an invitation. Where I come from, when you say I'm selling something and you show it, it's kind of like sorry, my bad. My bad, dude. Hey, calm down. My bad. You still want to do business? Which one is mine then? One little skinny one right there? I want the dog leg. My bad. And he was just yelling, getting mad, starting grouping, starting a riot, getting with the Blacks, let's rush the Woods type shit. It was like, no, we just want some weed. Can we get some weed first and talk about this riot later? We're like, just calm him down. I was like, I said it was bad. Like, I said my bad like 5 times. My bad. Don't get so offended. Shit. I ended up calming him down. Surprisingly, I bought a joint off of my Isaiah. He's going to bring me some of those skinny ass motherfuckers based on. I said maybe I should buy 2 because 2 would probably make 1. Surprisingly, he brought a big fat one. He said that's the one I touched. Since I touched that one, I have to have it. And I was like, okay, good. All that drama and that fit you through was kind of worth it. Because I grabbed the biggest one since I get it back because I touched it. Sweet. I like how this shit works. But I was supposed to look at something else. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, man. Indians are in there, too. They're in the other car. I haven't seen a lot of Indians. I remember at CMC West, they had the Sweat Lodge. That was pretty cool. A couple of Indians that I did see there, they'd go to the Sweat Lodge. I didn't really see it, but you could hear the drums. Pretty intimidating, man. I can imagine. Way back in the day, going to battle against somebody. Not just Indians. A lot of people use that drum. You hear them from before you see them. Come walking up with them drums. Yeah, pretty intimidating. So I'd hear the drums. I knew they had a Sweat Lodge. This is pretty awesome. I didn't know any too many Indians. The Indians I did know, I remember from my first term, I knew a couple. Indio, all their names are Indio, seemed like. I knew 3 Indios, they were bulldogs. They're straight up Indians named Indio, but they're bulldogs. I'd play pinochle with them before the Woods and Bulldogs had their big fallout, and we couldn't program with them. But, yeah, oh man, I was supposed to get into this other story. I've never seen Arabic. I've never seen Arabic. But trip on this, man. I was going to talk about, fuck it. So, we had the big riot at Soledad. Should I go into that story or another one? Damn, I'm really confused what I should do right now. I know confusion is not a good look. I'm going to save a story for later. I'm going to go with this instead. You know what's surprising? What you think of being other? What about a Jew? Where does a Jew fall into the mix? Would a Jew think of being other? Or would they just come and just... Surprisingly, they run white. Do you find that surprising at all? It's interesting when I stand back and look at it because, who was the biggest enemy of Germany, World War II? The Jews. And all the Woods and prison, California prison system, adopted a lot of the symbols that the Germans used in World War II. Took a lot of those symbols, used it for them. A lot of whites did, not just Woods in California. A lot of white skinheads and stuff. Same symbols. Go to California prison, you're going to see a Wood. A lot of those symbols from World War II Germany, but you could walk up and ask them, what was the big battle that Hitler did? What was some of his, lieutenants? What did he do? What was this and that? And I don't really know. I don't really know. How do you feel about the Jews? I mean, they must like them because they're there and they're never a problem. I mean, they show up and they're on white. Wouldn't you think that since all the Woods adopted all these symbols from World War II Germany, Jews would show up and they'd say, get them! And they don't. And I'm not saying they should. I'm just standing back. I just think the whole thing is kind of ironic, if you ask me. So, I knew this Jew at Soledad who lived with a skinhead. And they're buddy-buddy. They're such good friends to the fact that the Jewish guy moved out with another Jewish dude, wanted to have same cells with him. And the skinhead he was in tears. He was that upset. And a lot of people like the Jews because they get this big old lunch. We get this little skimpy, tore up, rotten pear, nasty lunch. They get a kosher lunch. Like a whole head of cabbage, all these crackers and cheeses, all this real nice stuff. And they come back like dragging it. Hand me that winch, homeboy, to pick up their lunch. It has to be kosher. And that one skinhead of shit was crying because this Jewish dude moving with another Jewish guy. And I was like, dude, you're that upset? He's like, well, I'm just mad. I'm upset because I liked his lunch. Give me his lunch every day. I'll miss that whole head of cabbage. I was like, dude, you got to touch that guy. It was your buddy. It's okay. You can admit it. So, yeah, it's a little bit ironic on the ironic side. How much last I threw him? 22 minutes? I can't say it. If it dies, fuck it. It shouldn't die. When I was at Soledad, there's a dude, I hated him. He's from Bakersfield. He had the keys to the building. I don't like saying this part of the story because it kind of makes me look like a little bit of a nap. It kind of got over, but I just have to just tell you. I don't want to lie to you. I had bought some heroin. I said I'd split it with them. I didn't have a syringe. He got the syringe. He drew it up. I went like this because it was a binky. I didn't know how to use it. It doesn't have a push-pull. It has like a little bubble thing. I went like this so he could and then when I felt him put it in and take it out. And when I looked at it, it looked like all the drugs are still in there. Like he put it in, didn't insert nothing, that took it out. And then act like he was drawing his up. And I'm like, because you taste it. And I was like, I don't feel anything. I'm like, dude, you give it to me? He's like, yeah. Acting all suspicious. I'm like, thinking to myself, I'm going to make an issue out of it. I need to do it now. But it made me look like a total drug addict. I was like, he didn't give me my boy. I couldn't make an issue out of it. I just quit fucking with him. I didn't like him. I was like, you piece of garbage. You know what you did. I know what you did. And you're a freaking straight jerk, dude. Wish there was some CCTV and I had it on video or something. But had to just drop it. Had nothing to do with them. Couldn't stand him. Next thing you know, an Indian guy. Everyone's on lockdown. But the others. That's why the others are so important. You got the Woods, the blacks, and the Southsiders on lockdown because of a big riot, leaving only the North Daniels out there, and the Pice was locked down too, I believe, to feed the whole prison. And the cops don't feel comfortable leaving everything up to the North Daniels because they're always, up to their neck in weapon stock. They've always got something in the mix for moving somebody, so you're going to leave it up to the North Daniels to feed the whole prison? No, they're probably going to mess up tomorrow and be on lockdown. So the others come in. They're so important because the others are never on lockdown, it seems. I can never think of like a riot the others got into. Maybe their own individual little cars. But no, so they're up feeding the whole prison. Anyway, we're all on lockdown. This Indian dude, Chef Indian, brings me a kite from the hole. It made it out to one of the buildings, and then the building is shot like a little trial kite, like this is Splinter, and you have this kite, respond. I was like, yeah, this is Splinter, I got the kite. Okay, we're following through with another one. The next day said, hey, remove that fool. His name was Hood. I'll throw his name out there, I don't care, Hood. The one who pretended to give me the stuff, had the keys. Remove him! I was like, all right. There's 2 other dudes from Bakersfield. This dude, his name was, what was his name? Hold on. Scary Jerry. And the reason why I knew about them is because way back in the day, this dude, I was in county jail. Me and this one dude were going to fight over the Bible. We interpreted a verse different. We got all mad. We're going to fight. He's like, my brother's Scary Jerry, not so the writer. Back when I used to be intimidated and worried about who someone's brother was, I was like, oh, he was? Okay, well, I guess maybe your interpretation of the Bible might be correct, brother. Scary Jerry, you saying? And then I went to Wasco one time, and I had some tobacco. Took it in there and got caught by the cops. All the homeboys were mad before I got to pick everybody off. Scary Jerry was there. I was like, fuck, I look probably like an idiot in front of Scary Jerry. Because I got my tobacco took and some other big homeboys, and I was like, I'll tell you the tobacco took story later, but cops caught me, made me look like I was new. It was embarrassing. Did Scary Jerry see that, I wonder? Now here I am in Soledad. I gotta remove this freaking fool. Scary Jerry's there. Hey, you gonna go with me, dude? No, I don't want to. Then this other dude, Big John, you gonna go with me to remove him? No. Because they were endorsed to level 1 yard. We don't want to do it. We don't want to go. But he's a good guy. We shouldn't do that to him. I'm like, I got a guy from the hole. I have to. They would not go with me, man, because they're endorsed at level 1 yard. They tried shooting another kite to the dude named Jaybird, had the keys to the whole yard for Bakersfield. Let's ask him. No need to ask him. I got a kite from the hole. I was like, I'll do it by myself. Fuck it. Got over to LA Woods, hooked me up with a sock and a lock, rushed up old Hoodwood, got him, ended up going to the hole. But good looking out. All because an Indian dude brought me the kite. Thank you very much, because we were on lockdown. I don't want this damn video to die. Oh, it might die! I better say cut the string, let it fly, and I'm going to go live later. Come check me out live. And let me say this, if you want to donate, please don't do it through Cash App. Well, I'll tell you why, but it's really important for you to please, if you plan to donate, you want to touch me because it's New Year's Eve, whatever, do Cash App and not through Super Chat, because I won't get it for a long time. Cash App, I'll get it tomorrow, and, that's what's up. So I'm going to go live, play guitar with these new pedals I have. Much love, much respect. Get you a shirt. These shirts are going fast. Only a few left. Better get yours. Get while the getting's good. Cut the string, let it fly. Peace.